Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Ask Alex, where this is the show where I take all your questions and answer them here on this show. But on today's episode, I got a special guest with me, somebody I've been following for the last like 3 to 5 years. He was on the Flash after show, one of the best shows in the world that was on the stream. He's an actor, writer, director, and he is one of my favorite Schmodown competitors, Mr. Devon Stewart. How are you doing, Devon?
I'm good, man. I appreciate that introduction. That definitely blew my head up a little bit, gassed me up some. I wasn't expecting all that, but all right, cool. I'll take it.
Oh man, well, Devon, I've been like, it's funny, like, because the first time I heard about the Flash after show, I used to watch the Arrow after show with John Campea and his team, and then I remember he shared you guys' show, and I started watching the Flash, and what stood out to me the most is when you were like, "I'm the #1 Flash fan in America. No one's going to take that from me."
All time.
So Devon, on this show, I just want to know, like, I want you to introduce yourself to everyone and just tell everyone what you're currently doing and how you got started in acting and directing and just media commentary.
Well, I guess I'll start at the beginning then. Devon Stewart, nice to meet you guys. Man, I started out wet behind the ears coming from Texas, man. I came out here when I was 18. Didn't pretty much have a dollar to my name. Was bouncing around. Struggled for a bit. I think I really didn't get started though until like 2011 because I came out here in 07. And I mean, you know, it's California. It's expensive as hell. You know, you got to find a place to live. You got to eat food. You know, you got to, stuff like that. So it wasn't until like 2011 that I finally like booked a good job. And it was this MTV show called Chelsea Settles a while back. And that finally, working with a network and like doing things like that, and starting to get treated like a bit of a prima donna. You know what I'm saying? When they start calling you the talent, it makes you like, oh, okay, this is cool. Like, all right, I see now why these celebs' heads be blowing up. But it was cool. But that definitely jump started like, all right, I need to really start paying attention to this and doing it. And then, started booking slowly here and there. Eventually, I fell into hosting and like the social media stuff with the Flash after show because I came across it as like an audition. And it was about the Flash. Or no, it started off about Gotham. And like, I know a decent amount about Batman and whatnot. And I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And that was when the show was coming out. Mm-hmm. Booked that one. And then they were like, yeah, we're going to do one for the Flash. And I was like, you can't do one with the Flash and not have me on it. So that was like a debate within the studio for about 4 minutes. And then they were like, okay, Devon, you're going to do it. And I was like, all right, cool. I was going to blow the whole place up. But yeah, I mean, that fell into there. And then from them, I ended up getting in with the management company, CMEG, and just started like booking other hosting work like Cricket Wireless, the CW Fan Feast, Disney Interactive, just a bunch of just like random hosting gigs, But acting's definitely been the main front. And as far as what am I working on now, last year I wrote, directed, and produced my very first own film. After booking quite a few commercials and like little TV spots, I was finally able to like save enough and then like get the thing going because it's not a cheap thing to do, especially when you want a good camera and stuff like that. And then other than that, it's doing this festival run now, so that's still more work. The work never seems to stop. And I have a show out right now called Massive Monster Mayhem, which is a Nickelodeon show that went international. And I think they're doing the season finale in England right now. I mean, it's all over the place. So I don't know like where everyone's at, but I know for sure England's at their like season finale. I don't know if it's airing in the States anymore, but that's something. So if y'all got kids, show them the show, buy the toys, do it. My 3-year-old, he had his Major D on the couch right here. I got to put this back in his toy box, but it happened to be right there. But yeah, that's pretty much the story of my life.
Oh, dude, that's amazing, man. Like, and I remember you posting about that show on Instagram, and I have a 9-month-old, and we watch the show every time I can. I try to pre-tape it before when I come home. But I know, like, I watch the show, and it's really dope. But it's funny. Like, I remember there was a time where I remember on the Flash after show, when you just when your child was born and you took
Yeah.
this picture of a Flash outfit on top of your
On top.
child.
Oh yeah. He knew it was real. The moment that outfit fit, that's all he wore. All the time.
And I was like, you know what's funny? Like I'm a huge Black Panther fan, so I got my child a Wakanda onesie.
Oh, yeah, no, that's dope, man. It's good. I'm glad Black Panther's finally getting the credit he deserves. You know, it was yeah, no, for sure. I've been waiting on that. I mean, they've been talking about putting Black Panther out for what, the last 10+ years. I mean, so you know, and it's been everybody from Tyrese to Derek Luke to like just everybody, whoever was hot, black, buff at the time. They were like, we're gonna put that guy in it. And then they just never did. So, you know, I'm glad they waited long enough to where we had the technology and the budget to do it right.
Yeah, yeah, and I really, really enjoyed that film. But for those who don't know, Devon is a actor and a director and a screenwriter, and he just recently did this movie called Breathe. Now, I'll go definitely in more detail in my review of this movie, but I got a chance to watch the short film, and I have to say, and I told Devon this when we were texting, that film is an amazing film. It's about like 14, 15 minutes. And just to see the development of those characters, especially the main character, of what she's going through and how to fight against what she's going through without spoiling
Yeah.
anything. It was just a really, really good pacing of the film. You did a really good job in terms of pacing. So I just want to know, when you started doing this project called Breathe, like what went all into it? Did you like, I know we talked earlier about how much money you spent and stuff like that, but when you initially wanted to do this, how did you decide, hey, I'm going to make it this title, cast these people, spend this amount of money? Like what went into that?
Well, when I first started, when I wrote the first draft, which was like it was like a year and a half before we even shot. Very first draft. I don't know. It was untitled. I didn't name any of the characters or nothing because I didn't want to because I feel like when you give a character a certain name, it automatically makes people see something. And like, I didn't know who I was going to cast or anything. And I don't want to limit it due to like race, anything, you know? And so like, I didn't really know what to do. And then, I got like 2, 3 drafts in and I started like showing it to certain friends, like entertainment friends or whatnot, that could give me like honest critiques. Cause I don't like people gassing me up. I like, you could be honest, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't just tell me something's good because I showed it to you. Like, if it's bad, show me because I don't want to put bad content out there, you know?
Right, right.
And yeah, so I started getting to mainly, I was mainly showing it to like women friends, like women industry friends, because I wanted like their point of view because I didn't want to write something that looked like somebody with testicles wrote it, you know what I'm saying, about a woman. Because being a comic book fan and like a deep film fan and just, you know, working in this industry, it gets frustrating. I see where women get mad where it's like, again, y'all did this, like, you know, the whole damsel in distress thing or like this dumb stuff. And I was like, I didn't want it to be one of those, you know? And so, yeah, you know, and then I ended up showing it Tristan Mays, the main girl. She was one of the ones I showed it to. And when she saw the draft, she was like, I want to do this role. And I was like, you talking about this script right here? And she was like, yeah, I want to do that one. And, you know, Tristan's a pretty big name right now. So I was like, I mean, if you down, like, yeah, I guess that's the character I don't have to cast then. And, you know, she was all about it. And she gave her critiques. And, you know, I went through, wrote this, rewrote that. Finally, until like the 7th draft, it was like, all right, cool. I got something that's working. And then it ended up being like last summer that just passed, Tristan had to get ready to fly back to Atlanta to shoot season 3 of MacGyver, which is out right now, watching. And I was like, crap, that means I have to shoot it now or I'm not going to have her for like 10 months. And so like, I wasn't really ready, but it was one of those like, you got to be ready now. So, you know, hit up SAG, made it a SAG project, got everything ready. And then my cinematographer, his name is Kuba, Jacob Bajza. Jacob Bajza. We just call him Kuba. You know Kuba. He broke it down to me and like, you know, laid it out. He's very experienced in this. And he like helped me get a crew together and all that. And so, you know, I went in there planning on spending about $5,000. The learning process ended up making me spend about 15. And so it hurt. Yeah, I know it hurt. And I feel it. My pockets are still hot. But it turned out to what it is, post production and whatnot. And I feel like I made something that came out exactly as I envisioned it. And it's getting a lot of good responses. We're up for First Glance Film Festival, and then there's like 8, 9 more I'm waiting on to hear from. But yeah, people are finally going to be able to see it. It's going to have its first out there debut. Because right now it's just a link and a password and word of mouth. I can't post it online because the festivals are like, not till it debuts. Like I can't even submit it to a festival on the East Coast until Tribeca. Because they're like, if it's going to be in Tribeca, it has to premiere with us first in the tri-state area. I think it is. So a lot of fine print, but like I said, I appreciate you taking the time out to watch and making your. I'm excited to read it. I'm glad you liked it, and I can't wait till all of you guys get to see it yourselves because, all that investing into it, I want somebody to fucking watch it. So.
Oh, amazing. So, the really cool thing about that film, because I know you said you spent about 15 grand on it. To me, when I watched it, it seemed like it was it would look like a film that I could go to the theater and watch.
Yeah.
So when you said it was 15, it wasn't so surprising to me the fact that you spent that much money. I just thought you spent more than 15 because it seemed like when I watched it, because I watched it on my MacBook, and maybe it's because it's just my MacBook, but your film is really cinematic. And whoever, like you said, the cinematographer did a really good job catching those angles from frame for frame and the different actors as they were acting in those roles. And it's funny when you casted Tristan to play the main role. I was like, this girl looks so familiar. And then when you say MacGyver, I was like, oh yeah, I did see her from MacGyver. So I wanted to ask you, like, how is it that you got all these good relationships with people in Los Angeles?
Well, primarily through work. I know there's a common misconception that like when you come to LA, when you want to mingle and meet people, you just go out all the time every night and try to like go to the places there and just talk to everybody. It's more so, I would say I've gotten less reward from that and more from like literally just booking work or like helping people with their projects and doing this. And then you just meet people that want to work, and Tristan I had met through a friend of mine, Jeff. He had done a short film that I was in and she was the AD on it. And then, we just sparked a friendship from there. And that was like a couple years ago. So we've just talked ever since. And then, with the script with that, it just like strengthened it more. And then we worked together and then we did it. So now we're like, cool. And she's a very, 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 very phenomenal actress. Her, Dawn Marie Ferrer, everybody in the film. And as far as that, I've met a couple other people, a couple big names. And it's literally just LA. It's a very small city when you think about it. Like it's large physically, but like the industry itself, when you go to certain places, you start meeting this person, they're friends with this person, they just happen to show up. A lot of times it's just luck of the draw for me. Like I'll know this person and then they'll know these people and we'll just kick it, go to dinner or something. And then other people show up and now you're like, oh, now I know bam, 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 bam. And then it's just maintaining like good, genuine friendships. It's not always coming up to people like, hey, what you working on now? Can I work with you on this one? Or here, I have an idea. Sometimes people just want to kick it, eat some food, drink a little drink or something, and just, relax. Mm-hmm. And as long as people feel that comfort level with you, and if you're genuinely good at what you do, it'll pop up. It just kind of falls into place.
Oh, okay. Now that is amazing. I definitely want to take that with me when I do visit LA. I've never been, and I would love to go sometime. But yeah, I wanted to ask you because I've noticed that you are a part of some different media outlets like Collider, The Stream, and some other stuff. How did you get connected with them? Like, how did you get connected to do the Schmodown? Like, I've been watching the Schmodown for like the last few seasons, and I'm not real. I would say I'm good at movie trivia. Yeah. But how did you get like on the show? Like, do you have to audition, or did you know those people while they were doing the Schmodown?
That actually, I met them through Jack Hine from the Flash After Show, because he had met them and talked to them back when like Collider was a long time ago, and like I think Sinead DeFree also, and like back when it was like Tiffany. What's the last name? I know you know.
I think it's Smith.
Tiffany Smith. Back when
Yeah.
it was like them on there and John Campia.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack knew them and he got real close with them. And then, me just being the random funny guy, he just kept putting it in his ear like, me and Devon could make a team and come up there and, Jack being British. And me, of course, being 100% British, of course. But yeah, doing that, we just came up with the Kingsmen, and then Christian really liked the idea, Christian Harloff,
Mm-hmm.
and next we were on there and it got a good feedback. We were just entertaining, it's just fun, have fun
Mm-hmm.
with it. And honestly, I'm with you, man. I thought I knew a lot about film, but these people at Collider and these dudes know film. Like, they make you feel stupid after a while. Like, they'll ask some questions, and I'm like, bro, I don't think I've ever seen. When did that come out? And they'll be like, oh, that movie came out in 1973, and it was written by man, it was directed by him, man. And you're just like, bro, they're like think tanks in there, man. So I respect it. It's a lot harder than it looks. So I just try to go out and have fun, and that's what makes it entertaining for me.
Okay. So when's the next time we can see you do a match in the Schmodown with Jack?
I'm not sure when they'll combine the Kingsmen again. I know Jack's very busy, but I do mess around and go up there with as Inky in the Brain with Rachel, Silver Stream, and I'm gonna be on there again, like a couple times. I don't want to spoil anything, like. There is something we're shooting on Friday, so I'll be there. And then, tomorrow, I guess. So I'll be there. And then, like I said, I don't know what to do and don't want me to say. I don't want to Mark Ruffalo this, so I'll be there a couple more times. But as far as the Kingsmen, who knows, man? Who knows? But I'm down to put on the jacket and the tie again.
Dope. I can't wait to see it because you guys are one of my favorite teams amongst the Schmodown. And another question I just wanted to ask you was that when you came out to LA and started doing the things that you're doing currently and making these relationships, what was the first like the very first official project that you did when you went out there?
Ooh, the very first, I think, was in like 2008. I did a web series. It was called Me and My Old Man. I remember, with Rondell Keith Adams. And it was like I said, I was definitely wet behind the ears. I didn't really even know how to act. It was more like I knew I wanted to do it, but I didn't really know how. I just thought just go in there and be funny. But it's a lot more to it than that. But I think that was the very first thing I did. He was trying to turn it into a TV show. And then he turned into like a little animated thing for a minute, which was cool. But, it's one of them kind of industries where it's like you can never get complacent with just one job, regardless of how good it is. I wish I had stayed steadfast around then instead of waiting all those years, work. I used to manage retail stores and stuff. I wish I had stayed steadfast since then, because who knows where you could be now, How many opportunities I missed by not hopping on the train. But who knows, man? I'm happy where I'm at now. I feel like everything's going good. I have no complaints. And yeah. But the first one, I think, was Me and My Old Man, if I'm not mistaken.
That's very encouraging to hear, because like when I saw your short film, by the way, I'm an aspiring director and actor as well, and I've directed 3 short films that are currently on my YouTube channel, and the last one I directed, it's called Static Shock Uprising. I did a Static Shock fan film.
Oh, nice.
And I knew when you say that it really hurt your pocket to spend that kind of money. That was the first time where I actually spent about almost $4,000 on buying the camera, the MacBook, and the production and everything. And like the cast that I had, they were really understanding of the fact of my finances, so I couldn't pay them, but I did what I could to take care of them, and they helped me promote it and all that other stuff. So I just wanted to ask, from a directing standpoint, is it hard to get all the cast that you need, especially when you want to do your own short films and projects like that?
Not really, honestly. There's so many. Well, maybe in LA. I don't know about. Is it Orlando where you're at?
Yeah.
I don't know how it is in Orlando, but in LA, I mean, if you put out a casting notice on LA Casting or Actors Access or something of the sort, that's what I did. Besides Tristan's role, I had casted the rest of them. And I mean, there's so many like casting studios and stuff out here. You just rent one for like a day. And it's really easy out here, regardless of the budget, whether it's free, whether it's paying, whatever it is. As far as in Orlando, I don't know how many actors there are per square foot out there. Whereas out here, there's like 50 per square foot. So it's like, it's very, very easy to get them out here. But as far as like getting the one that you feel really fits the role that, that you felt breaks it in, that part was tough because you have to pick a select part to put as the sides that really showcase what it is you want them to do. And it's tough because everyone comes in with a different perspective of the film too. So it's like that part is tough, but it can be when you're short on actors, it can be tough when it comes to the financial part. And I feel like that's what holds a lot of filmmakers back is the financial part. And especially if they're not as understanding when they're just like, no, I can't do it for free. And it's, it's no bad blood for them. Sometimes time is money. So it's like, you get it. But yes, it can make it difficult at times. So I thoroughly understand that. I was just lucky enough, like I said, to have worked enough last year to be able to put some funds aside and dive all in. And plus, I was on like a time crunch. Like I said, Tristan had to leave beginning of July, gone for like 10 months. She's still filming as it is. She films like almost every day. I think she said it's 10 months worth of filming.
Wow. And I hope one day that like I could get into that sphere. And it's funny because when I moved out to Orlando, I moved from a really small city called Pensacola, and then I moved all the way out here to get more opportunity in film and just things in general. And I wanted to ask you, because I'm not sure if you have, and I haven't really seen this, but have you ever been to San Diego Comic-Con? And if you have, what is it like there? Because I've never been. But I'm going to this thing called MegaCon here in Orlando, which is like the biggest Comic-Con in Florida.
Yeah.
And I just want to know, like, what was it like going to San Diego Comic-Con if you have gone?
Now, I have a confession to make. You've turned this into a confession booth. I've never physically ever been to a Comic-Con.
What?
I've been to comic book shops all over LA all the time. There was a time where I hit rock bottom and I was like living out of my car, and I used to be at this comic book shop every day, all the time. But it seems like every time I get ready to gear up and go to like a Comic-Con, because Jack has, and we were planning on going together at one point, I end up either booking a job or doing something. And it's like, that's how it usually seems like it works. Like the moment you set plans, you like get called for some work. And it's like, I wanted to do that, So I never physically was able to. The closest I got was I was on the road with Sinbad doing comedy, and we were doing a show at Fallsview Casino over at Niagara Falls, and they were having a comic book convention out there while we were there. And so I was going to try to like go and do that and do the show, but like the time constraints didn't work out. And so, yeah, like I'm one of those guys that like every Comic-Con experience I've had has been from pictures and word of mouth and videos and, that kind of knowledge. But it doesn't seem to be able to work out for me. Every time I get ready to, it's just some work comes up. So I'm with you. None of y'all tell nobody. Y'all better not tell nobody. But I'm with you. I'm just as curious.
Man. Oh man. I always thought that you've always went, I guess because like I associate like, because I kind of figure like all the people who worked at the stream or was at the stream kind of worked for the other media outlets like Collider, Screen Junkies, like the different LA stuff that's in the LA area. I have two more questions I wanted to ask you because you said something really key here. You said that you were on the road with Sinbad, and I've always wanted to ask you, have you ever thought about doing a comedy special or go on tour with Mark Ellis? Because I know he does comedy as well.
Yeah, the thing about comedy is tough. Like it was because I did it for a while, like on the low budget circuit out here, and it's one of those things that it's a numbers game. You got to be up all the time, living that life, and when it comes to like paying rent and eating food and putting clothes on your back and stuff like that. It's not very lucrative. Like comedy, I feel like and that's one thing that helped push me into on-camera hosting, is because like I would book jobs with that, get checks, and be like, oh, okay, cool. Like I book Cricket Wireless, I get this much. I'm like, I got rent and food paid for the next month. But like with the comedy game, it's like if you notice, that's why a lot of like the major comedians tend to be a little older when they hit it big, but they've been doing it since they were like 20, you know? Like it's not as much. Now, when I would go out with Sinbad, that was very lucrative. So like I was down to travel and all that. As far as Mark Ellis, he's a great guy. I think he's really funny. Scheduling wise, I probably wouldn't be able to hit the road anytime soon. I mean, especially now, I recently, within the last like 2 weeks, signed with some new management, and they got your boy out here, trying to work, so it's like, it's tough. You get a lot of obligations, you get a lot of arms reaching for you. I got commercial agents, voiceover agents, regular manager, hosting it. So it's like all of them are reaching for you all the time. It's like octopus arms, and the more you got, the more fish you catch. So you're just always going up for something. So it's tough to like get away. But I mean, if I was to go with Mark Ellis, I think that would be great. Like I said, I think he's a fucking hilarious guy. But like I said, scheduling wise, I doubt it right now, especially with the 3-year-old. That's another reason I had to kind of give up the late night life, because he needs to eat too and stay alive, and I don't want to go to prison. So it's like, all you gotta do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so like the last question I wanted to ask was, well, actually, I probably got one more, but the last question I wanted to ask is that, have you ever been on DC All Access? And if you have, because I just started watching DC All Access with Tiffany. I forget her last names. I know her first name is Tiffany.
Jason Inman.
Yeah, and Jason Inman. Yeah, and I was just wondering, with you being a Flash fan, and I know you like all the other DC stuff, have you ever been on that show? Because I just started watching it, and I just wanted to know, have you ever been on that show?
I haven't. I remember when I was with CMEG, because Tiffany Smith was also with them, and Jason Inman. And I used to beg Marky and Kelly and everybody in there to try to get me on that show. Like, 'cause I wanted to be on there so bad. But no, Tiffany and Jason had that on lock. They had it on lockdown. And then is it still going on? Are they still making new episodes, or is it right now?
So from what I can tell, I think they're still making new episodes. Like they do, like I think it's called DC Nation or something of that nature.
Okay.
And it's like they release episodes like every week or so.
Oh, okay, so I wasn't sure if it was still on or not, but yeah, no, they had that on lock. So unfortunately, I was never able to get on that one. Closest I was able to get was the CW Fan Feast. So it was like me, Jack, Tiffany Smith, and a few other people on there. That was cool, especially working directly with the people at CW. We did like the Supergirl spot, the Flash episode spot, the Arrow spot, and then I think I'm not sure if there's another one that I'm missing, but I know we did a couple of spots for each of the shows. And so yeah, that was great. But overall, yeah, no, not DC All Access. Would I have loved it? Yes, but they probably wouldn't have been able to get me to leave the set because I'm staying. I'm handcuffed myself to. I'm Rosa Parks in it. I'm not moving. That would have been tough, but unfortunately not.
Oh man. Well, if you do on there, I'll definitely watch out for you, man. But I can't believe you've never been on there. But the last and final question, I know I said that before, but the last final question I have is that what do you think of the current season right now of Black Lightning, or have you seen the show? I had to binge watch the first season, and now I'm in the second season, and dude, like I'm like sucked in. I can't wait to see Static if he pops up. You know.
It's tough, and like I said, I'm all honesty with you. It's tough because with like the Flash, for example, I loved season 1 to death. Like loved it to death. It was, oh man, it was so good. Season 2 was still pretty good. It was there. Season 3, season 4, it just started like it became like I don't know. It just wasn't hitting right no more. And same with like Arrow, just everything, just all the CW shows. They just stopped doing it for me after a while. And so by the time Black Panther came out, not Black Panther, Black Lightning came out, I was kind of numb to it at that point. So like I watched a few of the Black Lightning episodes, and it always feels refreshing and good to see that much melanin on screen at one time, at any time. So like I love all that and whatnot. But it's just these plots now, man, and whatnot, they just get so predictable and so like, cliche and just like, like I feel like they're just pumping it out now rather than like taking the time to quality write stuff down. That it's tough. So for me, I'm probably not gonna get into it, and I try. It's actually hard for me to really get into any shows. The only recent shows I found myself able to even get into was like older ones, like True Detective season 1 with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, and like just random stuff like that. Like they just pop up, and I'm like, I'll try it. But I've gotten real. I'm trying to find a better word. Real specific and when it comes to like my taste, very discriminatory. Like I'm like, I don't know if I want a show that'll do this. I want to see how this goes. I want something darker than that. Oh no, I don't know if that one seems too like I'm not going for romance. I get too much to the point to where I probably eliminate the whole viewing experience for the average viewer. I'd be all up in here for no reason. Just dumb stuff. Just like when you're working, it's no longer fun anymore. They say that about some things. And don't get me wrong, I love this industry with a passion, filmmaking, all that. But yeah, I think too deeply into things. And like with the CW ones, I hate that Black Lightning came out so late. Like I wish it came out sooner while I was still like hyped and like ready to get it all in. But it came too late for me, man. And I tried, but I couldn't get into it. I hope it's as good as you say, and I'll take your word for it. That ship sailed for me a while back, man.
I mean, listen, I completely agree because like I hate what they're doing with season 7 of Arrow. Like I don't even understand the whole gist of it anymore. Flash is kind of I watch it just to keep going.
Yeah.
I can say for a fact that just watching the CW crossover events, now those I loved for the most part, but just the seasons, like you said, like season 1 and season 2 of Flash were my favorite.
Oh man,
hands down. But when I saw Savitar in season 3, I was just like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Then season 4 with DeVoe, I'm like, okay, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, and even now in season 5, I'm like, okay, who's the bad guy? Like, I don't even know,
Each season was all the same question about like who's the guy behind the mask.
Exactly.
And I think it was season 1, they told you who the bad guy was in the beginning, and it was still great. But like season 2, season 3, they were like, who's that guy in the mask? Who is that guy? Who is it? And so the whole time you're not even really focused on it no more. You're just like, give me another hint, give me another clue, And yeah, but that season 1, man, it's the whole like going back to see the mom, and like the first time he ran around that tornado, it still hits me right here, bro, every time. I still got, I listen to a lot of film scores, so I still got that like on my playlist all the time. Second Chance. It's great.
Yeah, it's funny that you said it because I remember when that last episode came out when he was running against the tornado trying to stop it, and it goes black. I cried because I was like, "Oh snap!" Like, what just happened? Like, I was like in tears. I was like, "Oh snap!" But it's funny. I mean, I hope one day that they can get back to basics in those shows and not make them so cliche like they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was such a pleasure to interview you, man. And I've been following you ever since the Flash after show. So this is like a big dream of mine. And one day I hope I get to meet you and the rest of your crew in LA one day if I ever make it out there. But I wanted to let all the people who watch this show go to your social media. So where can everybody find you on social media? And go ahead and tell us about your future projects as well.
Well, social media on Twitter and Instagram is the same as at Devon D. Stewart. And then as far as future endeavors, I mean, like I said, I got new management. My schedule's spontaneous. So one day I'll be like, it looks like I have nothing to do for the rest of my life. And then audition the next day, call back another day for something else, book something else. So I'm not 100% sure in that aspect. But as far as the filmmaking aspect, I got a few ideas I have tossed up out there. I'm trying to see what traction this current film can pick up. It's getting some good words right now. I'm trying to get in the right hands. Hint, hint. But yeah, if I can get a good another script out there, and hopefully the next budget don't have to come out of my pocket. It's still steaming, like I said. Then I'll pump something out there, and I'll definitely keep you updated. I'm actually about to follow you on Instagram. I don't know if I do or not, but if I don't, then I'm about to do it right now. Stuff like that. So yeah, man, it was a pleasure. I appreciate you hitting me up to do this. I like when people ask me questions because I like to talk. If you couldn't tell, I talk too damn much. Yeah, I mean, that's it for me. That's life. There you go.
Man, well,
succeed.
Well, thank you, Devon. I really do appreciate it, man. And thank you once again for following me as well. Thank you guys for watching this jam-packed interview with Mr. Devon Stewart. If you want a question on my show, it's very simple. All you have to do is just send me an email at static145910@gmail.com. And also you can either tweet me or send me or leave a comment under my Instagram. My name is Alex. Thank you guys so much for watching this show. Thank you, Devon, for being on the show. I really do appreciate this, man. You're amazing. And you guys have a blessed day. Thank you guys for watching this video. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube page to get more exclusive content coming from my YouTube channel. And if you want to watch my previous videos, go ahead and click on this video up here or this video down here, where you get to see more exclusive content coming from my channel. Thank you guys for watching this video, and you guys have a blessed day.